So
Oh.
yeah, so I have to acknowledge, because I'm following along on a separate computer,
Hmm.
our live feed, that it did switch to my camera in the upper right corner. I thought it would stick with you, and so I had set down my. I'm doing all this on a phone because I don't have a working webcam on my computer, and so it was presently facing up at the ceiling for a time. Um, because I'm just holding this phone in my hands and my hands got tired, so I set my phone down. So if anyone was looking at the upper right corner for reactions, you got to see the reaction of my ceiling for a while.
Your ceiling is very emotive, though. So
Yeah,
that was great. So I think that's been licensed for like half a dozen commercials. So I've definitely heard part of that
yeah,
before. I've never heard the whole song. Very nice. Very White Stripes, look like the very simple production. Love it.
yeah.
You know, uh, um, yeah, just very sweet, very straightforward. A nice blend there. I love the guitar. The finger pick is very simple, just a 2-finger alternating there. So it's but it works, and that's what I love about him is he just leans into like very simple techniques. He's capable of more a
Right.
lot of the time, but he's leaning intentionally into simple things with crap guitars a lot of the time in order to kind of do a thing, which is interesting.
Yeah, I particularly one of the things I've always found fascinating about Jack White, and mostly that I've seen in the White Stripes, is he does seem to have an interest in childhood.
Yeah,
And I think that a lot of the times, like even with young artists like Billie Eilish, who's great, but I mean even when you compliment her, Billie Eilish, on a song, oh, what's that? That I Love You by Billie Eilish.
yeah,
Everybody compliments her. I'm like, wow, this is so mature for someone her age. And so much of, I think, music is respected when it's mature.
mhm,
And I appreciate that he is able to talk about childhood
mm,
in a way that doesn't seem childish, but I think a lot of times people um, ignore childhood in music, and so it's nice to see him do that. And there is a sweetness to it. It's just kind of a dirty walk to school, and dirt and rocks and
yeah,
bugs. It felt like, I mean, he's a little older than us, but it felt, I was like, yeah, I remember kind of meandering to school, and where we grew up, I remember there being a house that was under construction, and there was a big construction pit kind of out behind, and you could just go into the construction zone.
yeah,
I'd steal scraps out of the pit and bring them home, and that you just get away with that.
yeah.
It reminds me of that time. So I
So
appreciate it
it's
for that.
doubly sweet for you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting some reports via text that they may have blocked our live stream at this point. Can you see it on your end?
It looks it's frozen.
So
Yeah,
maybe
I'm looking over here, and it looks frozen.
okay. So it could be a technical thing, or it could be something else. But um, all good. We will persevere and keep making our content regardless.
Right.
Um, so,
So,
well,
last song.
that's 3 strong songs. Bring us home. What do you got?
All right. Well, like I said, these are arranged chronologically, not necessarily in terms of strength, but
Uh oh. Uh oh.
but I no, I'm confident in it. So I really wanted to feature Belle and Sebastian. They're a Scottish band. They're in a genre. They're sometimes referred to, this is sometimes derogatory, as twee pop. And so I was like, well, you have to include twee pop in something about sweet. Um, and so this is called The Everlasting Muse, and it's very much this is sort of like, it's sweet, but it's sort of I think there is a little bit of melancholy in it as well, kind of looking at this this woman from afar and sort of taking inspiration from her, but not necessarily being connected to her closely. The video I find to be fascinating. For whatever reason, I can't take my eyes off of it. It's actually the longest song on the list, but I found myself really enjoying the whole thing. So
Well, let's give it a look. Feel free to set that camera down. It looks like your hand is shaking.
it is a little, yeah.
Yeah.